Hi, if you're a marketer who has a product, a resource, wisdom that help people grow and expand and become more prosperous, and whether that's their personal, their business life, then it behooves you to make podcasts an incredible part of your marketing strategy. If you're not doing that, you're missing the boat today. Podcasts are such an integral part of the way that our world now interacts with those people that care about what they care about. And so in positioning yourself for marketing, podcasts is such an essential part of the roadmap to get people to know, like, and trust you. So I'm Jackie Leppin, and I'm here today to help you get on more of the podcasts that are important to you so that you can grow your business, grow your client base, change more people's lives, and grow your income. So today we're going to talk about 20 factors that tip the scales in your favor to get booked on a podcast. So podcasts are proliferating everywhere, but getting on them isn't as easy as you think, especially if they're exactly the ones that are in alignment with who you want to reach out to. So these 20 factors are going to be the gateway to getting on those podcasts that are meaningful to you and to your audience. Today, podcasters are the hottest form of media for leaders, authors, experts who wish to connect with audiences eager for information, solutions, empowerment, community, and even entertainment. Podcasts are growing exponentially because of the ease in which they can be created and by the incredible ability to grow an audience quickly. You know, what's great about podcasts is that you can be absolutely assured that the people who are on that podcaster's list are people who really care about what that podcaster is bringing to the table. So if it's in alignment with you and your message and what you do, then you're going right into the sweet spot. And that's so much different than radio, when in fact you didn't even know who was out there. This is going to be a very defined audience for you. And today the number of podcasts has now exceeded 1 million. The leading podcatchers, those are the aggregators of podcasts like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Stitcher, are just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more out there. Some of them are even specific to a topic, but you can keep searching beyond just these fabulous 4 and find plenty that will welcome you onto their shows if you know how to get them to say yes. In most cases, you're going to have to make a compelling case why a host should give you 30 minutes to an hour of their precious airtime. Keep in mind that many of these more popular hosts get hundreds of requests for their shows, either weekly or monthly. So you're really up against the odds when you're presenting yourself. And so these ideas that I'm going to put in your favor are going to be the kinds of things that are going to make you stand out for those hosts. They're going to make you a cut above the rest of the crowd. So I'm Jackie Leppin, as I said, and I'm an expert at helping leaders get booked. I've got 35 years of experience in publicity. We do radio podcast tours where we introduce authors to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts. We do speaking engagements. Our clients have included Don Miguel Ruiz, Dr. Joe Vitale, Dr. Joseph Dispenza, Ariel Ford, James Twyman, Hay House, and more, many luminaries in the personal growth field, but also business authors and people who have a message that appeals to anybody that will seek to improve their lives. I'm also a best-selling author, so I've been on that side of the fence. And trust me, I have been successful in enabling myself to promote my books through podcasts. In my last book, I had over 100 shows that I was on. And most importantly, in the last several years, I'm creator of Speakertunity, the speaker and leader resource company. We have everything needed for the speaker's toolbox. We have all the ways to get you on all the stages that you need. So now I want to be that conduit to make this easier for you to find those podcasts that are going to make your life really ideal. If you want to get booked, you will need to tip the scales in your favor. I have booked more than 10,000 interviews in my career for my clients. Among them, the nearly 200 luminaries, leaders, and experts for offers that we have done the full podcast tour. And we've generated between 30 and 80 interviews each, which tells you that we really know what goes into getting a podcast host to say yes. So what are those 20 factors that can make all the difference? Number one, you have a newsworthy, timely, or compelling hook. Now, if you can make yourself and your subject relevant to what is newsworthy, timely, or a cultural hot button, you've got them. Your subject can also be timed to a holiday, an anniversary, or an event that's topical. Hosts are catnip when it comes to something that's in the news, that's timely, that the community is talking about, that is really a matter that is essence. There's an urgency to it that they need to put you on the air because of what's coming up, whether that is something newsworthy or a holiday or whatever it is that really is in alignment with the messaging that you're providing. Number two, you have a solution for a problem, fear, or pain that the podcaster's audience suffers from. Do you have a method, process, product, service, coaching program, or other advice or resource that brings the listener closer to peace of mind, love, health, or prosperity? If you can propose to this host exactly what the solution is that you're going to be offering this audience, and that you have this solution that is going to give them the peace of mind, the love, the health, or prosperity that they're looking for, then that host is going to say yes. If I were to pick one aspect that is going to make you more desirable than anything else to a host, it is this one. Number three, you have a book. Having a book gives you instant credibility. This implies that you're an expert. And if your expertise matches the interest or need of the audience, then the host will find you an ideal guest for that audience. You know, it's when you say that I am the author of this book, it is like a free pass onto a show if it's a right alignment of message and mission. So, you know, it's great if you don't already have a book. You know, it's not going to eliminate your possibility, but having a book is going to increase your possibilities. So that is a great strategy for getting on more podcasts. Number four, you have a powerful personal story of overcoming, redemption, or triumph. Great human interest stories are a powerful enticement for a podcast host. Who doesn't love inspiration and motivation that shows people there is a path through trauma, tragedy, pain, addiction, or something that they've been through? You're living proof to their listeners that there is hope when you can show that you have overcome what it is that you suffer from, and that audience may also be suffering from. You're showing a roadmap to the podcast host that is an enticement for them to put you on the air. Having been there, done that, and come through it is going to make you appealing to this host for his audience or hers. Number five, you're an expert in a field that this host has been discussing with his or her audience, and you have the credentials to prove it. Do you have credentials or proven results you can point to that demonstrate clearly your ability to bring knowledge and enlightenment to listeners? You know, oftentimes there's an ongoing subject matter that underlies a host's podcast. And if you can really explain why you're the expert in that and can shed light on that particular subject matter, well, then you're joining the conversation with a great big advantage. And they're going to want to bring you on the show so that you can carry forward the conversation, but by bringing something new and special and more of your wisdom into the mix. So that gives the audience more tools to deal with when they're looking at these issues. Number 6, your clients include celebrities or other highly recognizable figures, or you have testimonials from such figures. One of the fastest ways to get a yes from a booker is for them to see that you've been hanging out with the rich, famous, or recognizable leaders. Now, I'm not saying that you're talking necessarily about hanging out with George Clooney. I'm saying that it might be a recognizable leader in your field. But even so, you don't actually necessarily have to have a personal relationship with a celebrity, although that is a big plus. You can actually align yourself with celebrities by saying, well, I and this celebrity have been through the same thing, or this celebrity and this celebrity have this in common with me, or this celebrity has really suffered because their marriage, their business, their marketing, their social media, whatever they've done, you have a solution to. But by invoking their name in the proposal, in the pitch that you're sending to the podcast host, you are making yourself aligned with them in a subtle way that puts you in the recognition factor of that host. It sets you apart from others. So whatever celebrity connections you have or that you can conceive, then it's going to give you a leg up. Number 7, you have a unique talent that no one else or very few others can claim. If you have a talent that offers something new, unique, entertaining, or possibly useful to their listeners, you have a great hook to get their attention. This is really so important. If you cannot carve out what's different about you to that host, then you're going to have a struggle getting on their air. But if you've got something unique and special that makes you definitive and makes you stand out from the crowd because you can do this, you have this gift, you have this insight, well, now you're going to get their attention. So really key on what unique talents that you have that make you stand out from the crowd. You demonstrate your expertise, program, or product has achieved uncommon results. Results are a powerful statement of your gifts, talents, and expertise. Show the host what you have achieved for yourself or your clients, and you've got instant credibility and appeal. You know, when you have results, they are inarguable. You really have a way to show that what you're bringing to the table has already got a proven track record. So when you're pitching yourself to your podcast, when you can show the results that you've achieved, that is going to really ratchet up the interest level, because you're not just talking your walk, you're walking your walk. So you really need to bring that to bear. If you have those kinds of numbers or statistics or case histories is also useful here, that are going to show that you get the results of what you set out to achieve on behalf of your clients and people that you served. Number 9, you have a system or a program with a numbered list of tips. Give your tips a snappy title or subject and capture the host's attention immediately. Tips can be do's and don'ts, mistakes not to make, things they must know, ways to be more successful, techniques to stay healthy. Be creative, but be numbered. One of the lovely things about offering to bring to the podcast audience a list of tips on whatever it might be. 1, it shows the host you know what you're talking about. 2, it says that you're not going to ramble all over the place. You have a defined mission and that you're going to get there, and that this is going to be valuable information to that audience. So it's really critical that when you are doing this, you can prep your materials in such a way that it shows that there is a start and an end, and there's value in between. So just be numbered when you're actually setting yourself up to offer yourself to hosts. This is a great strategy. Number 10, you had some extraordinary experience, whether it's paranormal or spiritual, or you escaped from a wartime country, you've survived a terminal diagnosis, whatever it is, you know, that you have been able to do something that the average person cannot. Have you had a near-death experience to change your life? Had a message that kept you from getting killed in an accident? Experienced a miracle recovery? Escaped danger? Been on a peak adventure? People love to live through others. And if you can tell them about your experience, well, one, it just creates awe, but it also shows people, wow, I'm wondering if I can experience that, or if I haven't experienced that, could I survive? Could I do something remarkable in my life, no matter what that might be? How, if he or she had that strength, if she or he has that wisdom, well, can I do that? What can I learn from this experience? So when you have had some kind of an extraordinary experience, this is a real appealing actualization for a host. This is a really great way to get on somebody's show. Number 11, you're a pioneer in a new emerging field. Give the host an idea of what subject you can shed light on that would open a new world of possibilities for this listening audience. I mean, hosts love to be the first one to bring something to their audience or to the world. So if you happen to have something that you really are an emerging leader in some aspect that has really heretofore never been breached, then it's really exciting for a host to bring you on to their audience. So don't hesitate to brag about what you've pioneered in your field in order to get a podcast invitation. Number 12, you have discovered or created something remarkable that is useful for the advancement of some aspect of the culture. Maybe you're looking beyond the individual, and what you offer will have a wider impact, if not on the whole world, on a segment of society or a segment of the world. You know, when hosts see that you are in service to a community, to humanity, to the planet, to whatever it is, when they understand that you are bringing something that is going to improve the lot for more than your own self and your community, that you're paving a path that's going to benefit others, then that's going to be really valuable in what you're offering to this host. They want to see that you have helped advance the cause of whatever it is that you're doing, and that is going to open lots of doors for you. Number 13, you're doing something unique and noteworthy that is saving human or animal lives, or impacts the health of the climate, or doing something selfless that is making a difference. Now, this is a little bit different than the last one, when you're really basically creating a movement and you're uplifting in the culture. This is really about how you can impact the individuals, but on a collective basis. You want to tell your story, show the impact, and illustrate how you're bringing others to join your campaign. Make a real difference and a great focus for many hosts. Obviously, animals touch people's hearts. Children touch people's hearts. If you're doing something that is really fairly selfless, that's really focusing on others, then that's going to have a certain kind of interest for a host that is really also heart-based. Number 14, you're doing something that uplifts people in a time of challenge. You empower people or offer hope. Sometimes just offering empowering stories, wisdom, or strategies is enough to get a host to give you the spotlight. There are so many stresses in life today, and people are dealt so many blows. As long as you can bring to the table the chance that there is light, hope, by showing your story, by bringing what it is that you're bringing, by telling stories, by bringing strategies, you're going to make yourself a really special guest for this podcast. So you really want to bring to bear the messages of hope the pathway to hope or success or the next level for people who are challenged in their lives. And if you can do that when you're proposing yourself to the podcast host, this is going to be much in your favor. 15, you've done something specific on social media that is creating significant buzz culturally or worldwide. Are you a YouTube sensation or TikTok or a viral meme instigator? Have you used a social media in a revolutionary way or created a site that's attracting gazillions? For the right show, someone breaking through on social media is a no-brainer guest. So if this is your niche, if you're a social media whiz and you're doing something special in that world, it's become a cultural hot button. And hosts love to show what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why that audiences should care and go look at what you're doing. So take that as one great strategy. 16, you can illuminate or show light on something that's causing greater clarity or transparency in the cultural conversation. So there's a controversy, cultural confusion, or downright misinformation being disseminated by the media or by other listeners on the show. And you have truth, facts, and expertise to offer that provides transparency and clarity. Well, don't be shy. Get in there and offer your voice. Hosts love to have people who can shed real light on murky quarters. And we've heard the talk about fake news and all of these facts that people are sprouting that really are not consistent with reality. But if you know the reality and you have the facts and you really can step in and show why people should understand what is going on with more clarity and transparency, then don't hesitate to step in and offer yourself up for that podcast. 17, you've become an influencer with significant social media presence that can draw more people to the podcaster's show. Now, podcasters are like all of us. They want more visibility. So if you have a substantial social media presence and following, and you're willing to promote the host show to your audience, you should make this clear in your pitch letter. By showing them that you are willing to help promote their show, make them more visible, that is going to add to the reasons why they should want you on their podcast. Number 18, you have a podcast yourself in a related field that will trade for airtime with the podcast host. And you don't necessarily want to be that overt, but you want to say in the pitch that, hey, by the way, I would love to be on your podcast, and I have a podcast as well, and I would love to have you as a host. Don't make it a quid pro quo, but you can simply say, this is an offer. Now, if you have a podcast in a related field where the host you're pitching would benefit from being on, offer to do so with this exchange. And you want to give them a full visibility on your show. You want to make sure that they feel welcome so that when they have you on their show, it feels like they've gotten extra benefit from just having you as a guest. Now they're getting the benefits rolled into the next level. Number 19, you write a pitch letter that is compelling, well-written, concise, and captivating. Your pitch needs to be crisp. It needs to be intriguing. It has to tell the host concisely why should you be given their precious airtime. Now, writing a pitch letter can be a little bit challenging because there's a formula to it that really impresses the host and will get you real fast consideration. And if you want a little professional guidance on that with writing your radio, podcast, video pitch letter, and that, by the way, you can use this for TV as well, you can check out our e-course at speakertunity.com, Get Booked Pitch Letter Training. So I'm going to leave that there for a minute for you to take that down. You can grab that, and it's going to help you discover how to really get booked. The next thing I want to tell you is that we have a podcast introduction sheet as an alternate, not just a pitch letter. So you can either use them an alternate, or you can put them together and send your pitch letter with the podcast introductory sheet attached. What's really nice about this is that your podcast sheet can really bring much more about you and your bio and some testimonials from other hosts that have had you on their shows, along with the subject matter that you like to speak on. And they can pick 1 to all 5 if you want to have them, give them that choice. But if you need a podcast introductory sheet, a really simple place to go for it is speakertunity.com/sheet. So these are great tools when you're actually presenting yourself, but it's best not just to write a simple little letter, I want to get on your show. You need to give them more than that. You need to explain to them what is it, why they want to present you to their audience. Number 20, you write a subject line that is irresistible to open. You have to write a subject line that will compel them to open the email. First, start with these words: guest for your show, so that they know it's not spam, and then capture their attention and intrigue them so they want to know more. This is really important. That subject line has to catch their attention, and it really needs to speak to why they should put you on the air. What's the benefit? What's the transformation to the audience? So yes, you put guests for your show, and then you put in just a line about what is going to be the outcome for their audience when they listen to you on their podcast. Now, do you want to know 2 easy ways to get booked? I've told you the strategies, but I've got some much more exciting things for you. Number 1, done for you. If you're going for impact, well, then our Conscious Media Relations Radio podcast tour will introduce you and your story to an exclusive list of 9,000 radio shows and podcasts, 4,500 of which are passionate about things like personal growth and wellness and spirituality and women's empowerment and self-help, conscious business, memoirs with a message. We've got a minimum 30 invitations guaranteed. You will never come away empty-handed when you work with us. And this serves anybody whose work or books improve one's life, one's business, or the planet. So if this is something that you would like to do where we write the pitch and you don't even have to, then we make your introduction to all of those 9,000 shows, and then we book your calendar solid. I want to encourage you to go to consciousmediarelations.com and see our 80 rave reviews. I mean, come on. How can you argue with 80 rave reviews? So if you want more details on the programs we offer specifically, then you can go to consciousmediarelations.com/tour. So I'm going to repeat that, consciousmediarelations.com/tour. So here's what some of those testimonials have said. Thank you. We have our book, our award-winning book. You sold tons of book for us. It really helped with book sales. And here's another one. Jackie and her team put together an amazing radio tour for me and my co-authors, Janet Bray Atwood and Sylvia Dvorak. With our book, Your Hidden Riches came out, we had 60 plus radio shows. They did a masterful job of supporting our book launch, and Jackie's team made it so easy. That was Chris Atwood. And Gary Salyer, working with Jackie and her incredible team, has been a dream come true. Having launched my book, Jackie helped me to create a radio podcast tour that went beyond my expectations. 85 premiere podcasts and live shows. And for those shows, again, not only book sales, but clients as well. So that really gives you an idea. And of course, Dr. Joe Vitale over here says the best media pieces I've ever had. And I love the work that they do over there. So, come and visit us. Now, let's say that you don't want to go to the expense and you don't want to have somebody do it all for you. We've got another solution for you. And it's, we provide you the contacts and you pitch them. 40 new podcasts, radio shows, and podcasts each month that are eager for guests like you. We will feed these to you, fresh leads every single month. And we have two choices for you. Speakertunity Radio Insider. And Speakertunity Radio Insider gives you life-enhancing radio shows. Those are the kinds of shows that improve people's experience, whatever it may be: health and wellness, spirituality, personal growth, relationships, aging, conscious living, in just life in general, improving life in general. That's a great resource for you at only $35 a month. But let's say that you're in the business to business space and you only want to reach those kinds of shows that reach entrepreneurs and CEOs and employees, on people who are transitioning from corporate to having their own businesses. Well, then the great resource for you is Speakertunity Radio Insider for Business. And that gives you B2B radio shows. Again, 40 every month, and that's for $49 a month. So for each show, you're going to be provided complete contact information for the host or producer. This covers broadcast, satellite, podcast, and internet radio shows. We just make sure that you have these full spectrum anywhere that there is an audience waiting for you on an audio or video cast platform. So if this is of interest to you, I want to suggest that you go to speakertunity.com/radio. You'll find them both there. You can pick either one or the other, or even both if you want. And that's speakertunity.com/radio. And here's what some folks have been saying about this. After subscribing to Speakertunity Radio Insider, I brought the building of our radio podcast house in-house for a few months but I returned to Radio Insider. The quality of the Speakertunity show leads gleaned far better results than we were having doing it on our own. And that's Patricia Cagnello, from the founder of Sacred Stories Media. And then to all those who are thinking about signing up for the Speakertunity sheets, let me just say, do it. Because for this gal, Deborah Ann Jacobs, she also was booking her authors. And with her first 2 tip sheets, she booked 5 radio shows. So, these really do open a gateway for you so that you don't have to go searching on all of those podcasters for podcasts. We have done all the work for you and just made it so easy at very, very inexpensive rates. I want to encourage you to take advantage of these so that you can use all those strategies that we've been talking about for the last half hour and put them to good use without having to do any of the research yourself. So I want to encourage you to go over to speakertunity.com/radio. We are here to serve you and help you and get on the podcasts that are going to make a difference to you, your new clients, and your bank account. So again, I want to thank you for staying with me during this little session, and I'm hoping that you found some great value here and tips that will tip the scales in your favor.